It's Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments. We are going over Sanctum decks. We've got the best way to get Hydroman, the new card that you can find on the internet, the best decks to get you there. We're going to talk about them today. We're also going to remind you what the heck Sanctum Showdown is, tell you about the best decks, and even review that aforementioned Hydroman, what you can find. So we just sort of did that. But you've got tips for the mode. We've got the five-ish, I think it's actually 8 best decks for the mode on day 1, and a Hydroman breakdown. Before we get to those, though, please hit a sub, like, and comment. If you want to have more fun with Marvel Snap and win more games, this is the channel for you. We give you multiple new decks every single day. This is the second video we're posting today. The first video has a whole bunch of decks, and now we're going to give you yet more decks in Marvel Snap. So if you want to win and play more, play different things, please sub, like, and comment. In addition, your sub, like, and comment can enter you to win a free Spider-Punk. We give away 5 of the season pass on the first week of the season, and then we give away 1 a week for the rest of the season. So if you want your best chance to win the season pass card, this is the place for you as well. Okay, so tips. First, prio is important, and prio confuses people. Whoever has more charms is ahead on prio. You generally want prio here. The exception really is Stegron. Outside of that, almost every card that would otherwise want to throw prio is banned. We'll see if Shadow King emerges as a major card, but for most of the time, it's not. Guardians are absolutely amazing overall. Rocket and Gamora were banned, but Star-Lord, Groot, and Drax are still really, really strong cards. Getting clogged in this mode is a real problem. It's a thing that happens. You end up self-clogging, trying to win lanes early. Things happen that really can mess you up. So cards like Ghost Spider, Doctor Strange, Spider-Punk, and Jeff are all absolutely great in this mode. Keep an eye on them. They're ways to move around power. Moving power is great. I'm pretty sure Vision is also going to end up really good as we go forward because now he's buffed to a 5/9. If you're close at a location, as the game is going to end either way, snap and get everyone extra charms. It just helps everyone out. Just snap, snap, snap. It used to be that you shouldn't retreat or you'd be robbing your opponent of charms, but now a retreat early gives the opponent a guaranteed 16 charms. There is, however, bad news about the Sanctum Pass. Last time the Sanctum Pass had 175 more tokens, 65 more credits, and 1 more border, and the premium track had an extra 350 tokens and 850 credits. Those are gone. They removed it and they kept the price exactly the same. We also need 40 extra wins to complete the track, yet it still costs the same. This is a huge miss on the premium track. They gave us a premium track that was a great deal, and they have absolutely, absolutely destroyed how good of a deal it is in Sanctum Showdown. That is a genuinely upsetting thing. Because I need Hydroman, I'm still reasonably likely to buy this. It's still an okay deal if you care about the cosmetics, but honestly, as far as just like card progression, you're better off saving the gold, using it for progression, and just grinding the extra games out for Showdown. This is no longer a thing I recommend to make your life easier, unless you really just don't have time to get Hydroman and very much want the card. Boo on second dinner for this very, very, very bad decision. Genuinely, I don't know what they were thinking. And to do this without communication, without anything else, is truly disappointing just when they had finally started to make a series of good decisions in a row. Come check me out on stream, twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I should be streaming tomorrow morning this very mode. If you would like to win a free season pass, all you have to do is tell me your impressions on Sanctum Showdown and that season pass change. That's it. You answer that, you're entered to win the season pass. All right, the rest of this video is decks. Let's do it. First, we got Sko. This is Sko Denim, or Sko of the great Snap Fan. We're going to do some decks from Snap Fan, some Marvel Snap Zone, and then a couple of my own. Sko has come up with a Affliction deck. Affliction is very, very strong in this mode. People play directly into lanes, leaving themselves open to Laufey, open to Man-Thing, open to US Agent in ways that are really powerful. When you get these cards in those lanes, Grandmaster as a way to move cards like Laufey to the location you need them in is also really strong. You don't have to play this exact version. Basically, any version of Affliction works. The first ever Sanctum, when everyone was all on Guardians, a lot of why I ended up playing was Affliction, and Affliction won me an awful lot of games in this mode. If you would like a way to put up power and really frustrate opponents, basically evaporate all their power, then this is going to be the deck for you. You might note that this version of the deck doesn't run Hazmat. It's very reliant on doing Scorpion, Cassandra, Nova things, and then later in the game, Laufey into Grandmaster things. So keep an eye out for that as you're playing the deck. You're not going to get the like stupidly use Ajax, but Ajax should still be one of the bigger things. Again, there's multiple ways to do this. The high evolutionary version of this is still very, very good. If you're inclined to play some like that's my cat, sorry. If you're inclined to play some Miles or anything, just feel free to go to town. The other deck we have from Sko is the Sanctum Move. This move is really, really great right now. It's probably the best deck in Marvel Snap, and Scott has a great version of it. Hope safe travel, Scott, on your way back from DC. Hopefully, you arrive safely by the time this happens, my boy. And in the meantime, this deck is just a lot of power, right? Human Torch basically wins whatever lane he ends up in, assuming you have a couple movers. There's very little Red Garden, although I do expect us to see a little bit of Deafening Chord because Deafening Chord is new and hot. There's very little Red Guardian usually, so you get Human Torch in a lane and he wins, and then you Doctor Strange Human Torch to another lane and he wins, and then in that lane you have a Madam Web, and then you throw a Human Torch to another lane and he wins, and by that point the game is over. Because of that, that move is always a deck that is worth playing. This version of move has 4 1-drops. That means Cull Obsidian is really good, Gladiator is really good. It's just running sort of a mid-range game plan. Along with just like Human Torch and Dagger should win some lanes. Feel free to replace Sam Wilson, by the way, for Sparky if you're so inclined. Then we have the Den version of this deck, which does in fact replace Sam Wilson for Sparky. This one is more all in on move. It's taking advantage of Craven. You might note Cloak here is a little bit dangerous. You might want Hellion. Cloak can let opponents move stuff too, but you get more benefit out of moving your stuff than opponents do, thanks to Vulture, thanks to Human Torch, thanks to Bon Fei. Also, feel free to throw Spider-Punk in this. Spider-Punk seems really, really great here. I will probably be playing a version of this. I love to see Fan Fei in a deck. Fan Fei is a 4/4, goes in a lane, and then you can bump everything to the right. You can Sparky back the Human Torch. That kind of thing seems crazy good, and a way to win a lot of games of Marvel Snap in this mode. Being able to throw everything over with a Craven is going to be huge, even if you don't have the Human Torch nonsense. Throw everything over and give it a +1. I don't know. I think this is probably great. I really, really, really want. I'm probably gonna have to cut a 1-drop. Likely Iron Fist. I'm probably gonna have to cut Iron Fist because I do want Spider Punk here to go with my Dagger, to go with my Craven, and I think Vulture's actually really good in this mode, even if he's not good on ladder. Cloak is definitely gonna be Hellion for me. Like guaranteed, Cloak is gonna be Hellion. I do not think I want Cloak in this mode, but the 2/4 isn't bad stats. This is a really cool one from Den over at Marvel Snap Zone. We've got the lead writer of the 2 best Snap websites and 2 friends. Hi Den, hopefully you're having a revolution. Next up, we got Zoo. Zoo is consistently one of the best things to do in this mode. It's real boring, like it's super dry to play after a little bit. But Zoo is still really, really, really good here. Miles in Zoo is kind of spicy because you have Kate for the moving arrow, and you have Hydra Bob, and you're basically snapping every turn, so Hydra Bob is always moving, which means that you're going to get a 1/6 Miles. 1/6 is good stats, so we run it. Just that simple. Everything else here is just your standard points package. We play a bunch of 1-drops that we can scale upward with Blue Marvel and Kazar, and then we get a stupidly big Gilgamesh and a stupidly cheap Mockingbird, and that wins the game. Again, ridiculously straightforward game plan, but Zoo is always one of the top 5 decks in this mode. It's just like, I mean, you can build it how you want. If you have Gilgamesh and Mockingbird, you have basically everything else you need for a good Zoo deck, so it's prominent and it is relatively cheap. From here, we've got the Good Stuff deck from Den. This is Den's 4th Sanctum deck. It is a Priority Rocks deck. That's right, Priority Rocks. Telling your opponent what happens, what happens if you draw a bunch of rocks is you lose, right? A bunch of rocks will beat the opponent 90% of the time, and that's what this deck preys on. It says I can grab early Prio because I got the Bob the Black Cat, I got the Star Lord, I got the Grandmaster, I got the Lizard. If I can grab early Prio, Terex is going to be huge. If Terex is huge, then my Darkhawk is huge, my Cassandra Nova is huge. Once that happens, the game is over. Outside of that, we have just a little control, a little bit extra power as ways to win the game. I like the Galactus First Step slot here because if we have Prio for winning locations, then all of a sudden Galactus First Steps is really big. And that seems like a really good thing to do. If you're missing that Hydra Bob, by the way, Nebula is a really good shout in this mode and a very, very frustrating card to play against in this mode, although not quite as good for Prio with the Terrax package. Next up, we have another deck from Den. This one is one that, after this, we're going to get into my decks. This one is sort of a mini mover that's running Fan Fei. He really seems like Fan Fei in this, which I'm all about that life. If we're running Craven, running Fan Fei makes some sense to me. There's a way to make Craven like God ungodly big, and Fan Fei can move up 3-ish cards, which is going to be +3 power and Hydra Stomper, and those cards can otherwise move again thanks to Mercury, being Mercury, Sam Shield, etc., etc. I don't know. I think this is really, really cool as an idea. Basically, move and disrupt in order to win. Everyone's running good 1-drops. There's so many good 1-drops in this mode. Your Vultures of the world. Gives Electra some value. Hydra Bob is yet another move for Hydra Stomper. This is another one I'm really, really excited to play. This is a deck I love an awful lot the look of because it gives me access to playing some cards I wouldn't otherwise play. In particular, Fan Fei and Stegron together seem really good. Electra is really, really fun, and like I think this is going to be very good. This is one of the ones I'm planning on starting with immediately on stream when you come hang out. If you want to play the more standard version of this, we have our friend Vane Helsinger's version of this deck, where he was running Cannonball. We had to cut Cannonball. So instead, we're running Hellion because Hellion with Craven is insane. If you would like to try your Fonfei in this spot, feel free. But basically, our logic here is we can make ourselves a big Spider Punk, a big Hydra Stomper, and really mess with opponents in the process. Craven and Sam scale up. Scalers are good because they get bigger without filling location spots. Bigger without filling location spots wins you the game. It's just that simple. I think that this one, again, is going to be really, really good. This is also one of the only things we can fit a control card into. Deafening Chord is insanely good in both this meta and this deck as a way to say, I don't want my opponent's stuff to scale. Let's trap Sam's shield wherever it is, for example. Let's turn off their Craven and mess them up. That kind of thing is amazing, and this is probably going to be better than the previous deck. I am genuinely more excited for this deck because this deck is wild, but this deck is fairly likely to be better because it's chilling right around number one on the Infinite leaderboard. Although I can't tell you exactly where it is because the leaderboard seems to have crashed just a little bit. All right, next up, we've got another deck that I threw together. This is a zombie cord deck. This is actually based on Husky's deck from this morning's video. If you want to see Husky's deck, please make sure you check out this morning's video. Basically, the hunger is insane with Joaquin Torres. Merlin works pretty damn well with Joaquin Torres. That's the entire gist here. Outside of that, we're just trying to get some prio and some power on the board. Zombies do that thing where they let us compete in multiple lanes. We have ways to get stuff in and out of the zombie Scarlet Witch lane, thanks to Deafening Chord, thanks to Hunger, thanks to Merlin, thanks to Mercury. And since we can do that, we should be able to make ourselves a big threat in two lanes, which means that we're going to end up with a 50-50 in that last lane a lot. So we're going to want to put Zombie Giant Man in that last lane to try and seal it, or Zombie Absorb Man in that last lane to try and seal it. Either one of those should work fine. If we get anything like a reasonable curve for this deck, I think that this one's going to be an absolute godly deck. Zombies is just really, really strong right now. And again, if we don't see a lot of Shadow King, this puts up points like nothing else. All right, that's the decks. Now, Hydroman. Hydroman is a 5/8 on reveal. Set the cost of each deck's top card to 1. I think this card is going to be a giant sleeper. Everyone's going to think this is bad, and this is eventually going to find a meta home. Largely because Mobius is a card. Mobius with this is incredible, but anytime the meta is a bunch of small stuff, think Vicky Hand-like decks, this is going to be great. What this basically says is I get a cheap power card at the end of the game that I can play with my key 5-drop, that I can play with my Juggernaut, that I can play with my Cannonball, that I can play with my Cosmic Ghost Rider. If you can get a big card for one, and then you have another one to play, then you are way ahead because most decks in Marvel Snap top out at about 4 or 5 cost, which means they are unlikely to get the same benefit you do, and you are likely way ahead by playing this card. People are going to disagree with me. People think this is bad. I think that Second Dinner has really, really nailed the making of 5-drops, and this is going to be an absolutely, absolutely incredible card going forward. All right, Wet Wizard is the deck I want to try with this. This is based on our friend Duma Luma's deck. Duma Luma came up with a version of this forever ago, and I want to try Hydroman. Basically, we've got Mobius here already, right? We can run Sandman over Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm not sure which is better, but basically, our goal here is to go Surfer Wiccan, right? We can go Surfer Wiccan, or we can go Surfer Gwenpool if we don't see that, and then we play Hydroman, and then we hopefully hit Cosmic Ghost Rider, Alioth, or Galactus. If we had Wiccan, now we can play like Cosmic Ghost Rider and Alioth, which seems stupid, right? If we have Cosmic Ghost Rider in hand, now we can play an Alioth or a Galactus for steps and Cosmic Ghost Rider. Any of that kind of stuff seems utterly insane. We have Mobius in the deck, so if we are playing Hydroman, our opponent gets no benefit. Copycat lets us know whether we need to like Mobius or not without even being played. It tells us what kind of deck the opponent's running and how powerful it is, all that good stuff. Speed is just good stats. I think that this deck is really, really good, and I think Hydroman's really going to amplify it. I could be wrong, right? There's no guarantee, and we might want to go more heavy on 5-drops than 6-drops as we look at this deck because 5+3 on the last turn with Wiccan, or 5+1 from Hydroman, if you see it that way, is more doable than 6+1, which obviously still doesn't work. So maybe we want to go more 5-drops, but a deck that is like this, I all but guarantee, is very, very good. We will see it sooner or later as a real meta deck. I'm calling it now. Hydroman's going to be real. Hey, I know a lot of you don't care about Raid. That's totally cool. But you know what? Who does? Me. I really enjoy Raid Shadow Legends. I'm having a great time with it. I'm making a lot of content for it. And if you would check that out, it would mean a lot to me. If you're interested, you can also get $200 worth of free stuff by using my promo code in any of my Raid videos. I have a really cool Raid video coming up, hopefully tomorrow morning. And check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. We did our big Patreon list this morning, but we're going to do it again relatively quickly. Thank you to Jonesy Snap 22, Abigail Lisa, Military Burnout, LAB Inc., I am Frostman, Iron Cloak, Colton Everday, Prime Ryan, Ryan Burke, Ryan with Snap, Ren Wrench, Vera Group Math, Gopher Cav, Caretix Lee, Corey, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Pyro, Goat C Code, Hollowed Synth, Banner, Absolute Shannon, Dirty Casual, Dark Moogle, Mr. Gravel, Cable, Ginger Prime, Philly, Haplo, Kenny, Luggage of the Danger of the Biz, Black Cheap is 23, Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Slush, Death, King of Bros, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Capsule, Colt, Glam, David G. Moo, Wingfield, Steven, Brian Carpenter, Stage Martin, JC Matt, William, Billy Nix, Ray Sean Smith, Charles, Chucky Boston, Corbin, John Q, Jimmy Q, Town, you stout, 88, Bubba Back, get your stack, Steve O, Yo, Marco, Ted Programmer, Joe, Snap to the Show, Pickety Moon Bop, Bricks to Click, Q, Ocular Screen, Goblin, Flam, Beds, Expected, Hoot, Only Fox, Matt H, TJ, My Guy, There's No Flex, Nick Dog, Great Geek, Toxic Soul King, King of Canada, JJ, Demon Falcon, Foth, Thorin, Newman, Two Sides, Great Lord Evans, the Pirate King, Tucker, and of course, getting T, where the T stands for stay tuned tomorrow, because we have one more Spider Man Noir deck, and then we're going to break down the other new card, Rowla, for you. So if that sounds good to you, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you watch this long, you might as well sub. Peace.